Good evening, everyone. We are 20 Sides to Every Story. I'm Corey, and you are watching our weekly run through of Out of the Abyss. We're one player short, one player or one character and one soup bowl short this week. But I suspect the rest will gladly entertain you in the meantime. We the Let's see where to start. If you have not, please follow our channel on Twitch or join our Discord. Both are great ways to see what the channel is up to. Our Discord is active most hours of the day. While we focus mostly on tabletop RPGs, in fact, we get into a little bit of everything, including console gaming. There's a big push to do 7 Days to Die at the moment, as well as some other um, painting miniatures, also all sorts of activities we get up to. So, great group of people. If you like what you see, I highly recommend that you subscribe to our Patreon. Our Patreon allows you some special perks, one of which is access to our community campaign game, which is once a week. It's run by Alex, and it is right now the Lost City, one of the, I think it was in the blue box way back when, and it has been revamped by Goodman Games for 5e, and they are running through it. So by being a Patreon, you get access to sort of a drop-in, drop-out campaign format where you can play a single session or as however many you want based on the tier you're on. Our characters have hit a pretty big milestone. They've moved off um, from Gracklstow, which is the Dwergar city in the middle of Underdark. Um, and they left a little bit out of um, um, sort of longing, I think, to get out finally. They were approximately 40 days ago. They were captured by the Drow and dragged into the Underdark with a group of other NPCs. They had successfully escaped, and they made their way across the Underdark. All along the way, starting to recognize the effects of the fact that it appears that a demon lord somehow has escaped the abyss and is also somewhere in the Underdark. And they saw that Demogorgon firsthand when they traveled through the Koatoa village of Slibidope. Um, they did. They managed to save one of their fellow prisoners from slavers. And while he is not in a great condition to travel, he is strong enough to continue on. And they left behind a number of NPCs who had asked favors of them in Gracklstow. And so if they decide to go back, that might play out a little interesting. But for now, they are sitting on an island a little bit off the shore of Gracklstow, and they just had a long rest, so make sure you treat that accordingly. And I'm going to have each of the characters introduce yourselves, and uh, I will allow if there's any last purchases. So as you introduce yourselves, also mention any last purchases you might have made in Gracklstow before you guys set off. So I'm going to start with Alex.
Hey everybody, I'm Alex, and I am playing Vic Valentine, a half-elf bard. Vic is very much kind of committed to seeing everybody that was a part of the Drow encampment experience set home. And so he's looking forward, especially at this point, to see Stool make his way back home, as it's been some time. No last minute purchases from Vic. However, gotta point this out, Corey, that Pruno did just buy you a reroll, and so you were up to six
Oh,
rerolls.
Bruno, such a good friend. Um, so consistent and stable. So okay, we are moving on. Thank you, Bruno. We're moving on to
I'm playing Zum Vilingi. I am an Asimar, fallen Asimar paladin of Bane. I'm a Banonite, very much of the lawful evil class, and I'm just glad to keep it moving because apparently the people that I do business with now want my head on a stake, or they just want me to become a slave for them forever. So just really want to get out of here and figure out why this is happening to me. Uh, and somewhat glad that the people I'm with are willing to help me. Even though I would probably sell every single one of them given the chance. But they don't know that. So
All right. Moving over to
Hi, I play Jasa Siltstride. Jasa is a halfling rogue of the inquisitive variety. She prides herself on her perceptiveness and ability to intuit things. And I made no last minute purchases, but I am pleased to be getting out of Gracklstow and away from the black smoke.
last and certainly not least is Dolphins.
Hi, I'm Ethan. I play Dolphix, question mark. And he is a gnome fighter. And yeah, I don't think Dolphix would have purchased anything either. He was pretty eager to leave after the events of last session.
Thank you very much. So on the island with them are let's see, 4. You have Stool, who is a myconoid sprout, and he is a little childlike. In fact, it's unclear why the drow even kidnapped him in the first place. But he does possess the ability to link all of our party telepathically, at least short term. Also with him is Eldeth, who is a dwarf, Stoneguard dwarf from Gauntlgrim, which is a dwarven city that sort of is sandwiched between the surface and the Underdark. We have Darendil, who is a gold elf trapped in a Quaggoth's body, and he is the one who was previously captured a second time by slavers, and in pretty bad shape. He's on the mend now, but he's much better than he was, but still has a little bit to go. And then Sark, who is a drow, who apparently was accused and tried for murder of another drow, an act that he has no recollection of. I'm not missing anything. Anyone? Hemeth has dropped you off last evening, and you have 2 boats and a rough idea of where you're going to go to get back onto the land a little bit north of Gracklstow. So we're gonna begin with that. Is there anything before you guys leave the island that you are planning to do?
I'd stock up on some of the food and water and things, knowing that we had trouble with that previously.
Okay. So you're able, like the island itself, it's not overrun with mushrooms and water, but you can over the few days you can collect what you need. I am going to move you over to something. I think it's here. Just you guys may remember this, but let me clean this up just a little bit.
Ethan, I had completely forgotten about your parakeet.
What? Kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
That's to remember.
It took me a minute when I saw it on there thinking, why is there? Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move these off. So this was our marching order, and since we're going to go back into the interspaces between civilization and the Underdark, we're gonna do this once again. And I want to ignore this for now. And I need to add someone, right? And take someone away, maybe?
Add Darendel.
Yeah. 1 second. There's Darendale. Is there someone extra there? Oh, Shushnar. That's who's there. Should not be. All right. So I just need a sort of generic marching order for you all for a very narrow tunnel where you can only fit 1 by 1, and then a wider tunnel where you can fit 2 by 2. So let's start with 1 by 1. Who's out front? Who's doing the navigating?
I'll help navigate, or
Good.
let's see. Yeah. Or
Alright.
no, sorry. I'm actually gonna keep with keeping an eye out. Yeah, that's right. I don't know where the hell I am.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll do the keeping an eye out.
We do have a rough map now.
You do have a rough map. It's gonna prevent you from just being 100% lost, but you will still need to do navigation checks as you
Mhm.
you work through this. I'm just gonna put Drazel on those 3. Where do you want? Let's see. Jasa, where do you think? Front, back, middle?
Yeah, I'll go in the middle.
Right.
Near the front. But since I don't have dark vision, I'm limited.
Zam, are you back or?
I'll be out towards the front. I definitely will.
Okay. And Dolphix, last but not least.
Let's see. You can just put me behind Jason. That's fine.
Okay. So I'm gonna recreate this a little bit in this order. Oh, I didn't put Darendel up there. That's who it's missing. So Darendel is going to go in the middle with these guys right now. Once he gets a little bit better, he's happy to take the back.
We don't have my new art on this page.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can replace. Get it.
No, don't worry about it. We'll get it to it some other time.
Vic, you're okay being in the back on this one, or would you like some support? Okay.
Yeah, I can hang out back.
Okay. All right. So, let me now move you to another page just to remind you of how all this happened. This is my very, very bad drawing. So, down here was where you escaped the prison, Velkovair. Most of you traveled up to Slubidope and then across the Darkbite over to Gracklstow. Darendil was one of the party that went directly from the prison up to Gracklstow. And now what you've done is basically the I guess, is that purple? The purple line is basically what you're doing today. You have gone offshore a little bit to on an island, and now you're going to sort of loop back around, but north of the city, so that you can catch up with the routes between Gracklstow and Blingdenstone, with the hopes that at some point you guys can find Stool's homeland, hometown, home grove of Neverlight Grove. Does that match with what you guys believe your plans are?
Right. But so by the way, we did confirm that the other party mostly died, right? Or was
Yes.
mostly murder. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, it pretty sad. You learned that Darendil found Turvey standing over Topsy. Did I get that backwards? No, Turvey standing over Topsy. Topsy's dead body covered in Topsy's blood, and Topsy's limbs were arranged in some sort of demonic ritual.
Jeez.
About a week before that, Jim Jar had completely disappeared from the party in the middle of the night, possibly with the same fate. And then the night Garandil found that, he just sort of ran away. And so it's not entirely clear where Bupito went. But Darendil's pretty sure they are all dead, with the exception of Turvey, who seems to have been doing. Also, Turvey was a were-rat.
What?
Turvey was a were-rat, like as he described, had the features of both a rat and a human, or not a human, a deep gnome. And so, yeah.
Crazy.
So, you guys are set now, right?
Hmm.
So you start paddling, and it's pretty easy paddling. You can easily make it to where Hemeth told you early in the day. So you still have about half a day to do some traveling. However, occasionally you are aware of other boats in the area coming to and from Gracklstow. Do you have any plan for those? Any strategy?
Could keep our distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fly casual.
Mhm.
So if you see one coming towards you, you paddle faster, or if you can just sit still for a while, you realize you do that.
Mhm.
Sort of sporadic movement as you move over to the edge of the cavern, or edge of the dark lake. Really no significant encounter during that time. You land onto the shore after finding the rough description of what Hemeth told you, and you did promise him the 2 boats that you would hide them. So I assume you're doing that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the group of you managed to stow the boats as best you can, based on Hemeth's description, and you start off into the Underdark proper again. I will need whoever is doing navigation. I will need you to roll a navigation check with advantage, since you have Sareth and Stool has some sense. It's not strong in any way, but has some sense of where he might be going. So who's making the navigation checks for you?
Well, let me see. What does navigation actually require?
It's survival.
Survival. How's my survival? I have a +1, so I guess I could try.
I'm a little bit better at that. Just from generally being wise and observant. I could do it.
All right.
Good. So please,
With advantage?
with advantage. Yep. And this will happen at the beginning of every day. But since you're on land now, I didn't bother doing it for the water. Okay. So you guys make pretty good time. Darendil, he definitely has his legs back, right? He's a big creature. So walking with him is actually pretty easy. He occasionally stumbles, and you can occasionally see where he's not very balanced, like he's still suffering. And of course, his arm is still pretty non-functional, his one arm. You make good time for the day. And by the end of the day, you are pretty sure you are on one of the main routes, just based on traffic, that based on the fact that mushroom growth is not at the bottom, it's sort of been pulled out to the sides. And what would you like to do? What's your plan for the evening?
So the mushrooms, you said they were pulled like
Like
it
it's
looks
clear
like
that you're on some sort of major thoroughfare, just because
Okay.
the mushroom growth is, it's like you would see a forest path, like it's almost like that, but in the Underdark.
Well,
Maybe
I
we
guess
can
that
find a spot somewhere off to a side where we won't be right in the view of traffic.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, probably look for something on that wavelength, like just a place a little bit out, maybe another cave nearby, something.
Okay. Make me just a let's do an investigation check. Just so you're looking around. Whoever is out looking for the cave.
I'll give you advantage, Jason.
I'm not quite as good at investigation as I am at survival, but I can try it.
Mhm.
All right. So you don't end up finding a cave, but you do end up finding a ledge that sort of looks down on the travel route. So, and the way you have pretty good, particularly for you, Jason, I think this is probably what attracted you to it. Pretty good sound back and forth of who might be down there. So you think it would be difficult to sneak up on you, and because you're high up on the edge, it's difficult to actually see you, realize that you're there. And so you settle down for the night. Is there anything special you're doing over this long rest?
No, just taking the watch as normal. I'll probably go for middle watch.
Okay.
I'd like to ask Stool if he can tell us anything about his home.
Absolutely.
Things we should be expecting, landmarks, things like that.
So give me 1 second. He tells you that his home is like, I think he describes it probably as like something you've never seen before, like, and he really is filled with sort of kid-like wonder and nostalgia. He talks about mushrooms 3 times as big as you, and he talks about mushrooms as far as the eye can see, and he's really fond. Keeps bringing up Basidia. Basidia, who is I believe the title is Hierophant. Let me look real quick. Sovereign, sorry. Sovereign Basidia. She is one of the elders, and she is the one who can make a normal mushroom awake. And so she is the one who picks which mushrooms become tenders of the grove itself. And he is really sweet on her. So every story is mixed up with something like, and then Basidia brought me here, and there's a lot of parataxis, like the end and end and end and end as he's telling you the story. You learn a little bit about some of the other people in the grove, and so there's various groups which are called circles. There's like the Circle of Explorers, and that's led by Rasharu. And Rasharu, Stool says, Rasharu will know the way out of the Underdark. Like he knows everything. And you learn about the Circle of Hunters, which is Lubamub. And Lubamub also knows he's a good person. He always finds interesting things out while he's hunting to bring to Stool and the other sprouts in the colony. As this description's going on, and similar to what I did for Drakelstow, before you guys get to the grove, I'll give you sort of a data dump on some of the stuff Stool would have told you. it becomes very, very clear that Stool has very little experience outside of the grove. So he's just describing the things that are his favorite within it. And it becomes very obvious that you don't get a sense that he would be able to tell you visually what the path looks like on the way there. He does, however, say, like, he seems with some certainty to know it's that way. And as long as you guys keep walking that way, he thinks you'll find it. He's not pointing. He's just sort of saying a broad area. He just feels like a pulling there. Is this out loud? Is this over sport chat? What is this? How is this conversation going?
Can Stool speak other than in sport
yeah,
chat?
He can only speak in. Oh yeah. So what am I thinking? Yes.
yeah.
Well, I would then ask Stool. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are mushroom people. What do you hunt?
And he says, well, sometimes there's stuff that wants to like destroy the grove, and the hunters, they make sure they never get to the grove.
Oh, wouldn't
They
they
make
be
sure the path
called?
is clear.
Wouldn't they be called warriors, not hunters?
I'm not sure why they're called that. Just the circle of hunters. That's what I always knew.
Interesting. Semantics.
I think the way he describes it is not that these things really never get to the grove. It's that these guys go out and make sure they don't even get near it. And so that act of traveling before they get rid of these things. But sometimes they bring back meat and various things.
Yes, I suspect they're one and the same.
Interesting.
Stool does, I think he probably tells you that, sometimes you need corpses to grow mushrooms. And so they'll go out, not so much, I mean, I guess it technically is eating as they're growing on it, but yeah, so some of the different, like for a variety, they need to bring in corpses and let them rot.
Makes sense.
And your fellow mushroom folk, they won't. Well, are they hostile?
Oh, no. I mean, the city is pretty much the nicest mushroom you'll ever meet. She's very, very smart. She's I don't know. She's just occasionally, very rarely, we have people like you come through. But I've never met them. But I'm just a sprout. But I've heard of them.
That was going to be my question, but I'm glad to know that you do sometimes have visitors.
We're sort of, Basidia picked the location because we'd be safe there. So it's a little bit out of the way. There's good water on the ground, so we always have stuff to drink. And yeah, it's a good place. I like it. I'm sure if you guys wanted to stay, you could. We figure something out. I will need one of you to roll a d20 for me.
I'll do it.
Okay. And this can rotate, but this will be twice a day. This is the evening one.
13.
Lucky 13.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do? I will say Darendale probably went to bed almost immediately. Like he really is, like, it took a lot out of him to keep up with you guys, but he could do it. He just is going to require a lot of rest. Anything else? I appreciate the John Madden joke in chat, by the way. Thank you guys. I didn't see it till just now. All right. So the watch schedule, what is it going to be like? You have Eldeth up. You have Sareth, who can contribute to it.
I'll go after Sarah.
Okay.
I'm happy to take one.
Okay.
I'll take the last watch.
Okay. Vic and Dolphix.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take it. I'll take the first one. That's fine. Or Sarah taking the first one. I don't
Let's
know.
call them 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Who's on one?
I'll take one. I'll
Okay.
take one.
And I think Sareth probably joins you. Who takes 2?
I do.
Okay. 3.
Maybe Vic and Drazzle could take that
Okay.
watch.
And 4 is Jasa and Eldith. Which,
Okay.
I think Eldith is naturally drawn to doing watch duty with you, Jasa, just having done it a couple times and feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
So, all right. The night passes actually pretty quietly. You do at one point in the night, let's say Vic and Drazzle, you do hear the sound of movement down on the path below you. And it seems like a pretty big group of maybe over 5, less than 10 individuals moving through. You don't have exactly a line of sight on them, but you hear they're not being stealthy, but they're not very loud either. So you do hear them occasionally talking in Undercommon. But other than that, they are just sort of moving away. And if you don't do anything, they just sort of move into your field of sound, and then field of hearing, and then out of your field of hearing. The rest of the night's quiet then. So you guys get up and you keep moving. Who's going to do the navigation check for day 2?
I'll continue to do it.
And you still have yep, okay. All right. And I will need now a D20 from someone, and feel free, like I said, to rotate that.
Okay, I can roll this one.
All right.
15.
Give me 1 second. I had this open, and then when I switched over to Neverland Grove. Can I get another D20?
I can toss one out.
Thank you. All right. So you guys start proceeding through the day, and are you the path that Jasa and Sareth and Stool to some extent feel like is the best path is actually pretty much on this main road that you guys are traveling through. So are you taking any precautions? Are you being stealthy? Are you doing anything of interest as you go through?
I think Vic would definitely have shared the news about that crew that passed through, and that it's a possibility that they're up ahead. Not really sure what that was, but maybe just wanting to keep an eye out for if we can pick up on their tracks, if we can know whether we're following the same path that they did or if they veered off to another tunnel or whatnot.
Okay.
I could certainly listen for them.
Well, they're not bounty hunters, right? Or you
I
didn't
don't
think
know.
they were?
They were speaking Undercommon, at least I think. I couldn't understand what they were saying.
I think do I speak Undercommon? I feel like I do, actually.
I think none of you do.
Oh no, I don't.
But
No.
oh, sorry. Oh no, you were with Drezel.
As with
Eldith
Drizzle, yeah.
does, and Sareth does, and so um, it was just clear, like even like their voices were, they were talking at normal level. You were just off a distance, so you don't get the feeling that they were.
The Drow typically, from my limited experience with them, their native or their default language would be Drow, right? Not Undercommon.
Elven, yeah.
Oh,
They
like
would
it, yeah.
with the Drow dialect, right? So, but within their cities and within themselves, I would be speaking of.
Yes, Elven with a southern twang. Yes.
Oh, so acting. Sorry, I asked that, and I don't know if I heard the answer. Stealthy or just making sure you don't bump into the back of them.
I think we're just gonna make sure we don't bump into the back of them. Should we be stealthy? Well, I suck at stealth, so I'm just saying.
You're also
Let's-
a big group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just listen. I'll listen, and if I hear us getting close, then we'll think about stealth.
Make me a quick perception check.
Okay.
As you guys are going.
Shall do.
All right, yeah. So you do hear the occasional movement in front of you, but nothing like a group of 5 to 10 people. You think it's just natural sort of just whatever denizens of the Underdark, whatever they may be, as you're moving through. Near the end of the walking day, maybe about 2 hours before the end of walking day, Stool does sort of tug on you, Chesa, since you're doing the navigation.
Okay.
He is pretty certain that your path forward actually now leaves this main path and is going to veer off a little bit to the left as he points down a passage.
Okay, I'll follow his lead.
Okay.
We'd been told that when we got close, he would know the way. So
Yeah, he's still not certain, but he's getting inklings of that.
Mhm.
And so okay. As you come down to the bottom of, like, you move off, and this tunnel starts to veer down quite strongly. And Jasa and Zelm, you both can hear in front of you, although you're not there, you can hear water, bubbling water.
Seems to be water up ahead.
Well, let's hope it's fresh.
Are you guys proceeding?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so you get to basically the low point, and then the path you're on starts to rise again. But at that low point, you see it's a shallow stream. It's fresh water, and in fact, if any of you are of the fishing type, there's actually fish in it.
I wouldn't mind trying to catch some fish.
As would I. I would like to try that.
Go ahead.
I go. How are we on water?
You're pretty good on water, just because, but you could definitely refill here. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
not because you guys are now experienced in the Underdark. I'm not bothering with foraging. I'm just rolling it into your navigation checks. If your navigation checks are poor, some of that reason might be because you had to veer off to find water or food or something like that.
Yeah, I'll just restock on water and let them do some fishing.
You
Nick's
still
pretty
have-
excited to try out some of this fishing gear that I haggled off that Duragar, see if it's any good.
Yeah.
Right. So you're about an hour before you would. I guess. Okay. Okay. So I don't know what fishing would be. Sleight of hand.
I would think survival.
Okay, survival it is. So those of you who are fishing, make a survival check. How much fishing gear did you get? Did we say, was it just
I don't
sort
know.
of?
I think it was kind of ambiguous. Whatever,
All right.
whatever he
Well,
had.
We'll say you had two sets. So, and we'll say you guys.
We also got some nets from the
Oh yeah.
Toa.
Oh, you
That's
did. Yeah. Okay. So those of you who are fishing, go ahead.
Ooh,
Dolphix.
Jason, that survival check is from this, right?
Yes.
16? Okay.
Yep.
sorry, I'm on the page.
See, the trick is all in the wrist.
So Dolphix, you catch like this thing that when you hold it up, it is about 2/3 the size of you. It is a fish with completely white eyes, and in fact, you're not even sure the eyes are exposed to the like. It might actually be a flap of skin over the eyes because it no longer needs it.
Mm.
And it has two jagged teeth pointing out of it. And it probably weighs like a good 20 pounds of solid protein. Jason, you also managed to catch a decent fish, but you feel a little bit, overshadowed by what Dolphix picked out of the river.
Well, we aren't all compensating.
Dolphix, what do you got going on? Are you using some kind of illegal bait over there? You know, I heard about this. What's one caterpillar worm thing that could convince fish to jump right out of the river and right into the boat. Are you using something like that?
No, nothing like that, Vic. It's all experience. I've spent many years aboard a boat near my Lord's Lake, and we would fish often together every summer. Yes. But if you'd like, I would love to teach you sometime if you are up for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to go back to the 101 class. This is no good over here.
All right. Are you guys staying at the stream for the night? Are you moving on?
Well, I'll ask Stool what he thinks.
Still, so it's not. He's not sure, honestly. He still feels like it's in this area. Like, if you can't see both my hands, I can't also figure out which of my hands is the right way. This area. But he couldn't point yet.
Mm-hmm.
He just knew that the road was going sort of northeast, and you guys needed to go more northwest. But you probably could travel for about an hour more without risking exhaustion.
Well, what do you all think? We could make camp here. We have a ready supply of water and food, but we could also pack up what we need and get another hour of travel in.
I don't know. It's not often we find such a tranquil, if that's a word we can use in this area, a tranquil place for us to at least relax for.
I agree. It does feel comfortable here.
Probably the first water too that you've had that's not has the mushroom aftertaste since you've been in the Underdark, because most of the water you found has come from mushrooms, right? Barrel stalks and whatnot. So it has a bit of an irony taste that you almost pleasant at this point.
Yes, my vote is we spend the night here. We have plenty
Yeah.
of fish, running water.
In that
Good
case, I'm
view.
going to take advantage of the fresh water and clean up a bit.
Here.
Are you preparing the fish for dinner?
Yes.
You bet.
Delphix, can I get you to roll a D100? Hold on, just in the wrong place. So as you are skinning the fish, you see inside us the fish in its gut has a small like container made of zircwood. It still has its cap in it. It's a stopper.
Yeah, I'm gonna open that.
There's a potion inside. There's some sort of elixir. Are you tasting it?
No.
Are you like, because you in 5e you can taste a potion to identify it.
Oh,
So
that I did not know.
Yeah.
Then
I bet you
yes.
could get Drazzle to do that.
yeah, or,
No. I'll
Tell him
taste
it's soup.
I'm almost positive that's the rule, that potions are like immediately identifiable unless they have some sort of trick to them.
I believe so.
Potions of poison do sort of trick. It is a potion of greater healing,
Excellent.
and you suspect that maybe it seeped out a little bit, which caused this fish to grow quite healthy in its years. It's been in there. It's like covered in like fish slime in its
Calcified.
gut. Yeah, so I couldn't digest it, which is
This is why we do not dispose of any magical fluids down the drain. But this would be useful for us. So yes, I will pocket this.
Okay. If you're making camp, I will need I'll need two actually. So let's start with the D20 for the evening. Whoever's going to roll that.
I'll go ahead and do one.
Nice.
Can I get you to roll? Sorry. Can I get you to roll? Two D20s for me. 15. Okay. The other thing I would like you guys to do is to do the ask a question thing. So all of you now are going to roll a D20, and the high number is going to ask the low number a question as you're sort of sitting around the campfire, eating good for the night.
Jason, Vic.
Jace is asking Vic.
As we're eating this fresh fish, turn to Vic and say, Vic, you've traveled quite a bit, been to a lot of inns and taverns and tried different foods. What's the best meal you've ever had at a tavern?
Oh, it's hard to say. There's just something that's always comforting about food from home, and so I used to work at a tavern back where I'm from, and there was just something about the way that they smoked the boar that is. I don't know if it was the best, but it gives me a lot of comfort. Even just thinking about it right now, having this fish is delicious, but doesn't quite fill that hole in my stomach where home would be.
Need that stick to the ribs. Heavy red meat.
Okay. So same order as the night before in terms of
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Also, out of character, Vic did ask make an agreement with Sereth, right? He would get his.
He would let Drazzle look at his
Okay.
head.
Yeah. Okay. I think Vic's the only one who knows about that agreement, though, right?
Great. And what was the full agreement again? That Sareth would.
He would allow Drazzle to take a look at it and treat it,
Right.
as needed.
So, yeah, I think Drazzle. I don't want to take agency away, but I think Drazzle has a whole host of remedies based on his soup bowl. So he uses his soup bowl to concoct these ointments, which probably involves some of the fish guts and stuff, and he's slathering it on Sareth's head in an attempt to heal the damage that Sareth has done. All right. So the night proceeds. Who is in? Vic, you're in third watch, right? Who's in second watch?
I am.
So you start to hear clicking, and it's new. Like it's definitely new sound. Some sort of weird clicking coming off from one of the side branches where you are.
Can I further investigate? Can I like?
Yeah. Are you
see?
gonna? You'd have to walk a bit, like not far, but you have to walk away from the party. Is that your plan?
Hmm. Who had dark vision again in this party?
Dolphic, I think everybody but me and maybe Drazzle. Yeah, Drazzle doesn't have it, so just the two of us don't.
Oh, cool. I'll wake up Dolphix.
What is it?
Do you hear that clicking noise?
And you definitely. It's so quiet in this area. It's really easy to hear this noise.
I do. Is it getting like closer to us?
No, you hear it off in the distance, like not far in the, like it's not. It's a very faint sound, but it sounds just like a clicks. Doesn't seem to be getting louder or softer.
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Suspect some sort of creature, of course, but does not seem to be getting closer. So, as long as they remain as far as they are, should not be a concern.
I'll keep an eye out. That's right.
Good.
Second. This is the beauty of trying to do this on. This is one of the reasons I did this off screen when we had the big long one. Zone. It doesn't seem to be getting closer, but it might be getting louder.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, you know what, Dolphix? I think I'm going to check it out. Seems to be getting louder. Maybe there's more of them gathering. I don't know.
Is that wise? If they're not getting any closer, then it's best not to disturb them. Whatever it may be.
Well, I just don't want to be surrounded, you know?
Very well. Then perhaps I should go with you then.
All right, who's taking the lead? So you as you sort of stand up and walk around it's coming up away from the stream and up in a smaller passage. Like it doesn't look like it might not even go anywhere.
I'll attempt to stealth up.
As will I. And I'll also summon Tajip to my shoulder.
give me 1 second. Okay. Cool. Cheap in a minute. Zelm, will you make me dexterity saving throw?
Oh, oof.
All right. As you start to walk up, you come to like a little bit of a plateau. And as you look upon the plateau, you can see light. And so you're used to some of the fungi glowing, but they tend to glow like a dull yellow, maybe greenish, maybe brownish color. This is a bright red color. And as you are doing that, suddenly the ground beneath you shatters and you feel yourself sliding into a muddy pit below you. You are going to take 2d6 damage. You can take 9 points of damage, and I just need to move some people into the correct place. Dolphix, you went. I need to get Cheap. Where's Cheap? He was on this page. And I'm going to move you guys to a battle map, and I would like you guys to roll initiative for me.
Oh no.
Oh God.
I'm going to grab Eldith and Sarah too.
What are these things? What's going on?
Where's my camera map? There you are. You guys can see, right?
Oh wow. Jesus.
So do these guys. Open it. Those of you who are asleep will be able to we'll skip around just because you're getting up and waking up as you hear Zelm's sort of the cracking of the ground beneath the Zelm, and also his whatever screams he decides to make.
Ah!
And I'm gonna roll the fire beetles are going to act on the same initiative. So Jason, you are asleep. You're
Yes.
woken up to the sound.
All right.
Vic, you are asleep. You're woken up to the sound. Zelm, you suddenly see these fire beetles start to pour in to the hole. You're about 10 feet down.
Mm.
And so you are suddenly attacked by these. They are very bright, so you all have illumination. But 30 feet. So 3 of them crawl down and start to bite at you. 1, 2, 3. Does a 16 hit?
16 might. Yeah, 16 hit.
You take 3 points of slashing from this beetle. The other beetles sort of start to move into place, recognizing that they have captured prey. Six. Sareth wakes up. Eldith wakes up. Zelm, it is your turn. Oh wait, I'm sorry, Dolphix, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna tell Cheap to go fly back and lead everyone back to where we are.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna run up here and hit this one.
Okay. It is okay. We'll say that's fine. We'll say it's at the 5-foot level, so you're still within attack. Oh. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'll use Booming Blade, of course.
Okay.
21 to hit.
That definitely hits.
So that's 8 piercing damage.
You crush its shell. And
Oh,
you
great.
start to see it fades like its illumination.
Okay.
Anything else?
Um.
You can see sort of the edge of Zaum. He's about 10 feet down. If you wanted to, like, if this fire beetle weren't here,
Mhm.
you could carefully, basically difficult terrain, move into his space to get around the sinkhole that's in the middle of you.
You said if that fire beetle wasn't there.
Yeah, like you can't move. It's substantial. So it's
Yep. Then yeah, I'm just gonna stay there.
Zaum, it is now your turn. There are two above you fighting you.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to activate my channel divinity.
Okay.
So I don't know if it came up in the chat. Did it come up in the chat?
Yeah.
Well. Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm doing my channel divinity conquering presence. So I need every fire beetle within 30 feet of me to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 13, or be frightened if they failed for 1 minute.
So, sorry. So, where is that? So, is it what is the everyone you can see, or is it like,
Okay, so let me see. Let me read it to you. So let's see. Channel divinity conquering presence as an action. Force chosen creatures within 30 feet. Creatures has an S on it. To make a wisdom saving throw.
no requirement of sight lines or anything?
No, it just says chosen creatures within 30 feet.
No, just making sure that.
Well, it says creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet.
It says,
See-
well, I'm reading off of D&D Beyond. It says, as an action, force chosen creatures within 30 feet to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I'm
Or
reading
they
it.
become.
I'm also reading it off of D&D Beyond. So
Oh,
weird.
well, that's weird. Okay, I don't know why mine's has a different.
Okay.
Oh.
So, but it's pretty easy. I'm going to say that these 5 that are immediately around you, you can see, and then the others are a little bit too far away. So what we'll do is I'll do top to bottom, right to left. You said DC 13 wisdom?
Yes, 13 wisdom.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, a nat
Last one,
20.
yep, the last one. Okay, so I'll put a little ghost on them. Okay. So they will act. Anything else? You have a bonus action?
So yeah, you feel this wave of like killing intent coming from me.
Okay.
Dolphix, and I get up. Using half my movement speed. And let me see, what bonus actions do I have? I don't think I have anything.
Okay.
That maybe define favor. You know what? Will I do divine favor or shield of faith? I'm going to hit myself with a shield of faith, increasing my AC by 2. So let me cast that.
Okay.
Cast.
And that's not. Oh yeah, bonus action. Okay. Jasa.
Okay.
From where you are, you can actually see sort of the angry red glow, but it's faint. But you can.
Okay. Well, I'm going to grab my bow and move to here, and then use cunning action to make a hide check
Okay.
a stealth check,
I don't think. Yeah. Okay.
and then pop out and shoot this one with advantage with
Okay.
my bow.
That hits. And you-
14.
You see it like pop. You see the glowing red sort of sprays everywhere.
Okay, that's it for me.
Vic.
Vic opens his eyes and Vic opens his eyes and he's staring up at the cavernous ceiling. He's like he's hearing the sounds of combat. Oh yeah, okay. Finally caught up to him. Somersault, handspring to my feet, weapons drawn, and then I look down and I just see these stupid beetles. What? You got me up for the stinking bug? And I'm gonna just cast. I don't really know what's going on. I'm gonna do a vicious mockery on that first one, right there.
Okay. Oops, sorry, I lost my place. I don't see it. I see that you rolled healing word.
Oh, I must have cast the wrong one.
Okay.
I was like, healing word?
Which one? Sorry, which one were you doing?
Just this first one I see.
I'm going to actually do this one because you might not be able to see because he's 5 feet down that hole.
Yeah, whatever one I can see is fine.
So, and yep. And oh, he makes. So what does that mean?
Nothing happens.
Okay. Sareth jumps up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not really sure what to do, but he can see one of them. I think he has. Yep, he has a hand crossbow. Shoots at the one he can see, which is this one. I think he blows it away. Yep, you see it pop. That one's gone. Dolphix.
Okay, can I get closer to any of them, or do I have to descend into the hole?
No. You can get over here. It's just difficult terrain to get that diagonal. Yeah, exactly.
Right there. Okay. Then, I guess I'll just take that one, the one in front of me.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Great time to crit. There you go.
There's no chance of it surviving. Okay, it blows up.
That's my turn.
Eldith, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Eldith, I think we gave her something. Yep, so longbow. Yeah, it's within 60 feet, so she's gonna go for that one. Hits and blows it away. Wait, they didn't go a second time, did they? Oh, darn it! I deleted it. Okay, it's their turn. Okay, this guy moves away because he's frightened. These guys move in. 2, 3. So you're gonna 2 bites zone.
No.
So neither hit. Now it's your turn. Sorry. That. I have a feeling you're going to clean up on these guys by the time their next turn comes around.
Is it my turn?
Yep, it is.
Okay. Did I choose? I don't think I chose Great Weapon Master, did I? No, I don't think so. So I'll just attack her regularly then.
You hit. Which one are you hitting? Straight north, northwest?
Yeah, north, straight
Okay.
north.
Yep, I blow it away. Anything else?
No.
Jason.
You're muted.
Oh,
Ed.
All right, I will stay where I am. I'll take a shot at the one just to the left of Dolphix right here.
Okay. Yep. Fortunately, you don't have. Oh, you do have. No, you don't have advantage. You
I
just-
don't have advantage. I did not
So,
hide. This
Unfortunately,
round.
it flies over the carapace of the creature.
All right, then I will draw. I'll put my bow away and draw my whip and move up to here.
Okay.
And then with cunning action, I will try to make a. I'll try to make a hide check behind Zone.
Okay. Okay. Vic.
I will. It's pretty tight up there. So I think I'll just pass out another vicious mockery right there.
Okay. Sorry. Wisdom. Okay, terrible wisdom. Yep. All right. So 3 points of damage.
And then as a bonus action, I'll toss a Bardic Inspiration over there to Dolphix.
Okay. Sareth. He can see he's going to go for this one. Takes out his hand crossbow. Hits, and I'm sure destroys this thing. Oh, actually, no, he does not.
Mm.
Dolphix, it is your turn. The two on the north side of they've both been injured.
Okay. I'll just hit the one directly north of me then.
Okay.
24.
Hits and kills it. There's 1 point left.
Ha
Anything else?
ha. No.
Eldith. She's also having trouble, but she's going to move in. And she's going to go for this one up here with her longbow. Destroys it.
Nice.
You see it pinned up like a entomologist's chest. Oh, it's their turn. So the only one that's left is this one that's going to attack you, and it's going to go for you again, Zone. This is apparently their trap.
Mhm.
So it hits.
Dang it.
4 points of slashing. But you can now avenge yourself.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5
Oh,
changes.
What a move.
And I will take vengeance upon thee.
Right.
12 points of slashing.
All right. And the other one runs away. You can easily chase it down if you want. But other than that, Zom, you, with the help of everyone else, are able to get out of the sinkhole. And you guys, the rest of the night is fairly uneventful.
Well, they were fire beetles, right? So
They are.
is there something that we can scavenge from them that we could possibly sell in another place?
There's not too much to them. Are fire beetles part of a component that I'm not?
I don't know. I feel like they would have some type of magical value to someone, though. That's why I was like,
So the big one would be their glowing ability, but you notice after they're dead, it seems to be fading very, very quickly.
Is there some sort of oil or something inside them that does that?
Let me look real quick. I don't want a fire bottle. I want a fire beetle.
fire bottle.
Like, how do you spell beetle? Am I spelling beetle wrong?
Are you spelling it like the band?
I was spelling it like the band. But here's the thing. I'm so tired. I can't think of another way to spell it. Okay. But I feel like I spelled it that way first. Okay, D&D Beyond, please help me. So here's D&D Beyond's autofill gives me fire bottle, fire battle, fire bustle, or form beetle. Does not give me what I need. Sorry. Actually, roll me a 1d6 someone.
Sure. 6.
So actually, the glands will keep light. Probably one of Sarath or Eldith knows this. Will keep light for 6 days, and it sheds light in a 10-foot radius. It's like a torch.
Whoa. Well, we can
But
have.
after that, it does fade, so you're not sure.
Well, we can have some light, I guess, for 6 days. You said.
Yeah, 6 days.
That's
be useful.
useful.
Pretty decent for camp and stuff like that.
Right.
So you settle down for the rest of the evening, and it's pretty quiet for the rest of the evening. And so we will move on to day 3 of your traveling. I need a navigation check from someone, and I need the first of the 2 20s.
All right, I will navigate.
I'll roll a d20.
Ooh, slipping.
Natural 20.
Okay, Zom, can you roll me 2 d20s now?
2 d20s. Okay. 18, 12.
18, 12. Okay. So you guys set off in the first part of the day, and you're making good time. Like it's not it's the Underdark, right? And you're off of blazed trails, so sometimes you have to crawl over boulders and stuff, but you feel like you're making good progress. And Stool feels more and more confident, although he couldn't point exactly to where it was. But the other person who sort of starts to speak up is Sarah. And Sarah says, everything I know about these groves, I think we're on to the right trail.
Well, good.
Excellent.
And he points to like it's damper. There's it's in some ways darker. Like it's more dank. Like it's the right humidity level, things like that. And so he's pretty confident in that. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna roll this because it's easier. Okay, so you're going, and the sort of trail is rolling. It goes up and down, and starts to sharply go down. And you start to hear the sound of water again at the bottom.
Oh. Maybe another fishery.
How lucky
Place.
could we be?
Mm-hmm. Start heading down towards the water.
Okay. As you get a little bit closer, and at this point, you're maybe like 100 feet off where you hear the sound, you can also hear the sound of mumbling.
Hold up. I'm like, Jason,
Yes.
what do you hear?
I'll stop and take a listen.
So you 1 second, I just need to roll something real quick. So you hear the sound of a creature mumbling.
can I make out anything that might indicate sort of size of the creature, type of creature, like the voice timbre?
Do you speak Elvish?
I do not.
It seems like a humanoid. And you like your dark vision 60/60, I assume. Oh, you don't have dark vision.
I don't have it at all. No.
Yeah, you think roughly humanoid. Like that's Zalm, you do have dark vision, right?
Yes.
So you can see the shape of like it matches what Jasa thinks. It seems to be at the very bottom of the path in front of you. It seems to be sitting, and that's the best you can see.
And it's only one.
Just one.
How far away is it?
It is maybe 100 feet, let's say.
Okay.
I believe there's only one, so I believe we'll be fine approaching it.
Well, there's no way that could go wrong.
Not at all. It's a level 20 fighter that'll just end all of us.
But if that's the direction we need to go,
Yeah.
this
I mean,
path's
it's
gonna
only
be
one.
winding. I wouldn't like to try to find a way around.
Right.
Are the rest of you doing anything? It's clear there's something, particularly those of you who have dark vision. If you sort of lean over Zalman and Jasa, you can see something sitting in some humanoid shape sitting at the very bottom of this trail.
I believe we should approach, but make our approach known. It's only one of them. There's several of us.
Yes, we should approach with caution.
Okay. Are you making it obvious you're approaching?
Yes.
Okay. Which of you speak Elvish in the group? Sareth?
I do.
who else? And Vic? Okay. So
I speak some of it as well.
Okay. So as you get into the 60-foot range, let's say, so people whose dark vision is starting to pick up, you all see a human-sized creature. You also hear another one of these streams that are running through, crisscrossing, and he seems to be sitting in the stream. He is barely clothed. He is mumbling to himself, and Sarth is the first one to say, "That's a drow," based on what he's hearing and the accent. And Vic and Dulfix, you start to hear, "Oh, they're coming for it! They're coming for it!" They're just mumbling that over and over, and you see him start to try to get up, and he doesn't seem particularly agile on his feet, so he's slipping in the water below him, but he seems to start to be moving or attempting to move away.
Calm. We mean you no harm. Just passing through.
You see him even more frantic, and he starts to he's now fully standing up, and you see him start to basically run up the stream, like the trail you're on actually goes across the stream. So it's not like it's a pretty difficult challenge. The stream itself is sort of slimy and whatnot, and you see him start to run, and he slips and slips. And as you now, all of you who have dark vision can clearly see he's completely naked, or what remains of clothing is scant. But he's holding something in one arm, which makes it even harder for him to navigate around the rocks and up the stream. And he is trying to get away from you.
Shoot him. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. Well, that's weird, I say.
I'll call out to him. I'll say, "Come back. We could help. We could help you protect it."
In Elvish, I assume.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's a trick. It's a trick. We have to get away. We have to get away. And he's just getting more and more frantic as he tries to. And are you guys approaching the stream as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can now see, he's basically trying to climb up, like with one hand, like incredibly steep terrain. But he is doing everything he can to get away from you.
What's going on? I don't understand any of you.
Vic, do you have anything at your disposal, magic, that could help calm this fellow down? He's going to get himself killed.
I can try, but his ancestry, I think, is going to make him a bit resistant to some of my magics. But I can give it a try. I'll cast calm emotions.
Okay. Can you just throw that up on the screen for me?
And my DC is 14 at this point.
It's wisdom, right? Or charisma.
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry, I just need to bring up.
I guess, sorry. I guess it's charisma. Sorry.
Where are you? Okay. Charisma. So it's a +1 he has. Oh, he has advantage too.
That's what I was afraid of.
Jeez.
So you see him, and he's like, "They're everywhere! They're everywhere! They're coming for me!" And you see him start to he grabs. He has this thing in his hand. He grabs with one hand, and you can now see his body in full sort of profile, and he is clearly starving. But with whatever strength of effort he has left in his body, you see him pull himself, palm a rock, and basically pull himself single-handedly up to a ledge. And if you are not going to do anything to stop him, else he is going to dash off.
I don't. He's just a crazy man to me.
Let him go.
Yeah, just let him go.
So he runs off, and you can hear him, and you hear all of you, you don't know what the reason for it is, but you hear the sound of paranoia. You just hear him saying, "They're coming for me," like that over and over in Elvish, for those of you who speak it. And Sareth is very quiet.
What was that about? I kind of look over to the people who can speak
Troubling.
Elvish.
Well, if this had been week 1 of being down here, maybe I would have done something, run off, try to chase him, and try to help him. But we've seen this kind of behavior before. For all we know, he wandered into some of that mist, and for all we know, he's just guarding a piece of rubble or rock that he picked up off the ground, thinking it important. We've seen this whole place kind of gets in your mind and makes you see things. And
Eldith says, actually, I think it was a carved statue. It looked like it
you
was
saw it
carved.
when it was in his arms?
That's what it looked like to me. I'm not sure if I saw it correctly, but it looks like he was carrying a statue of some kind.
Well,
Sareth, did you get eyes on it?
It matches what it could have been, in the sense of all of you saw the rough shape of it, and it could have been a statue he was holding. None of you saw it clearly enough. Eldith is pretty confident, though. That's what she thought it was.
Well, oh well. Doesn't matter now. Let's just keep moving. Or maybe keep fishing.
Yeah, are you guys gonna stop? It's about halfway through the day, so let's say you've traveled for 4 hours.
Definitely could use some more fish. That was good yesterday's meal.
Sure, we can stop and see if we can't catch something.
I'll just keep a lookout, making sure nobody's coming.
So those of you who are gonna fish, make survival checks for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dolphix, you are able to catch like the soul, like you walk downstream a little bit, and you actually find the stream is much more shallow than the first one you found, but you actually find a there's a hole in the rock, like, and there's sort of a deep pool inside of it. You reach your hand down, and you're able to what's it called?
Noodling.
Noodling, yeah. You're basically able to noodle this thing as you put your hand down, and it grabs onto your finger to bite you, and you just pull it up real quick and grab out another, not nearly as good as the first one, but a decent sized fish.
Aha! Success.
Exercise.
And so, yeah. So it takes you about half an hour to that whole encounter. Are you guys moving on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a little drop from my potion of greater healing and drop it in the river.
Okay. Restocking the river.
Yes, it's best to leave everything better than when you found it.
All right.
Next lucky soul will find a larger fish.
So you move on from the river, sort of starting to ascend into the darkness, and eventually the day passes fairly quietly, and you set up camp for the night. I think what we'll do is we'll take a break here since it's roughly. Yeah. Or would you like to take a break in half an hour, Ed? Which works for you?
I'm fine. Kiddo's at her
I'm fine.
mom's right now.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, let's take a break here for 5-7 minutes, and we will be back. Thanks everyone for joining us. We are look forward to maybe some action about to happen. So,
Woo!
Uh-oh.
or maybe not. Depends on. You, the bird.
Here it is. This is the Underdark in all of its terrifying glory. We are.
Hi, hi everyone. Welcome back to my drawing show. So that's the Underdark as they experienced it so far. So you settle down for the evening, and so I need two things. One is the general D20 for random encounters, and then the other is your chat around the table. So whose turn is it for random encounters?
I did the last one, so
I can roll it. D20.
Yep.
15.
Make me another D20.
9.
All right, thanks. Okay, so you settle down for the night, and I think the first person to sort of start up conversation is Sareth. And Sareth says, I'm not questioning you, but we are moving away from Blingdenstone, or not exactly in the direction of Blingdenstone. All of this for Stool.
Well,
Yes.
we promised him.
plus it seems like some of Stuhl's friends or tribe may be able to help us with maybe shortcuts or more supplies.
And he says, I'm not questioning it. I agree with your choice to go to Neverlit Grove. I didn't know how aware you were.
Well, I'm sure these people won't be like the, or at least I hope they won't be like the Koatoa that we also thought might have been allies earlier.
Oh, I'm not sure anyone thinks the Koatoa are allies. they are, how do we say, unreliable at best. The whatever madness or whatever they are is, who knows.
Mm.
But Myconoids, I know little of them, but I agree we should head there. It makes the best sense.
Mhm.
Can you guys roll all a d20 and high asks low?
It's just Vic and I just talk to each other every day.
Sorry.
You need to progress your relationship trees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just really want to figure out what this one NPC is about. Or I'm trying to unlock romance options. I don't know.
Well, Jasa, just kind of curious. I don't know a whole lot about you or where you're headed back to. Where's your hometown? Tell me about it.
Well, I grew up in Calimport on the ocean, but I've been away for a long time. About 5 years or so ago, I entered something of indentured servitude to pay a debt for my family, so that my father didn't have to do it. I didn't think he'd survive. And in the process, I worked in gladiatorial arenas, ultimately as a fighter. And my servitude ended the day before I woke up in the Underdark. So for the very first time in 5 years, I had nowhere I had to be. So I suppose when I get back to the surface, I will likely go back to Calimport, but the important thing is that I could go wherever I please. For the first time in a long time, I was 17 years old when I entered servitude, and now I suddenly can go where I like. I'm not sure what to do with it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're necessarily pleasant memories of that place, of getting into that line of work, but I guess the liberation, that sounds, I don't know what that would feel like.
Well, I think that my master, or whatever you'd call it, or the person that was that held my contract, thought they could profit more by selling it to the drow, I guess. Selling me to the drow when I was supposed to be free. But we've made some progress on the freedom part.
All right. So the night goes pretty quietly. Shifts 1, 2, Eldeth and you are on shift 4, right? Jason?
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yep.
on that shift. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so shifts 1, 2, 3, pass that up. Nothing. Shift 4 comes and it's pretty like I would say in some sense you guys are worried that you're falling into complacency because this has been much easier than your trip so far. Even Darendil is starting to like, he's sleeping easy, he's recovering well. And so shift work is a little boring at this point. But necessary. You guys aren't shirking the responsibility. It's just, you guys are in cold. It's so dark. Is someone there?
And we all hear this?
Only
I'm looking at Eldath to see if she reacts at all.
she doesn't seem to, like she's just stretching.
Being that I have some limited telepathy,
Mhm.
I'm going to try to respond telepathically to ask, where are you?
And so you hear, and it's not, you are not certain if this is in response to what you said or something else. But you hear, please, I need your help. I've been trapped in the dark for so long, so very long. Please, won't you help to free me? And as you sort of try to reach out telepathically, you do get a feeling of where this might be.
Okay.
It's not near. It's not immediately near. And it's roughly in the direction you're already traveling. But it's there. What it is, you have no idea. The like, it sounds like the embodiment of a feminine voice. That's the best you can say.
Okay.
Um,
Roughly how far do I think it is?
You're not sure. It's not within walking distance in like the next 200 feet.
Okay.
It's like, it would be something that your best instincts mean you're all going to go, or none of you are going to go.
Yeah, I'm going to sit tight on it and bring it up in the morning.
So I think that probably it's quiet, but maybe the last thing, like it's not continuous. It's not a loop or anything. But you do hear near the end, you hear a very faint, is anyone there? And then that's the last thing you hear for the rest of the night.
Okay. I'm going to try to sort of memorize or get stuck in my mind where I felt it was coming from.
Mhm.
So I could try to travel there if I don't hear it again.
Yeah, I will say that even when you don't hear her, it does, like, you do feel like some sort of connection.
Okay.
What that connection is, you're not really sure. All right. The next day starts.
So during the watch, something or someone reached out telepathically, and I heard them. This isn't that strange. My halflings of my sort of ilk have this ability, so it didn't seem that strange to me. But it's not one of us because it was reaching from further away than we can. I'd like to go and see it. It is roughly in the direction we're traveling. It seemed to be a feminine voice calling for help, saying that they were trapped in the dark. Now, this is the Underdark, and I don't trust anything. But on the off chance that it is someone trapped in the dark, I would like to help if we can.
I roll my eyes in frustration. Is it really worth it?
Is it worth helping you with your problems?
I never said it was.
Very well. I'm going to try to help this person.
Do you know where to even begin to look?
Yes.
Drazzle speaks up, and Drazzle says, I also heard that voice. I'm not going to pretend to be Drazzle. Drazzle repeats that he heard the voice, and he explains it was before you got to Slubador. Very similar. What you're describing, very similar.
So this voice has been following us since then?
No, that makes me suspicious that it's something else entirely, attempting to lure people in.
I think it was the day he got paralyzed. When I'm trying to remember now. Dressel would probably remember better than I. But it was the day where like he was just frozen. He heard this voice.
Well,
said
I
very
was
similar.
I was ready to go after this, Jasa. I know that you wouldn't. Your discretion has been one of your key attributes throughout this. But Drazzle bringing this up, I also am a little bit suspect what this could be.
Mhm.
well, I guess that does change my feelings, but it is in the direction we're heading. And if we get close, I might try to sneak up and take a peek.
I think that's fair. Better to know what it is if we can.
Agreed. Best to know thy enemy.
Or if it's not an enemy, it'd be good to know that too.
I guess.
All right. So you start the day out. I need a navigation check, and then I need the first set of random. Actually, I don't need the first set of random encounters.
Back on track with the navigating anyway.
Okay, yeah. So you, Jason, I think the big thing for you is that you feel a little split-minded here, in that, like, your instincts are telling you where to go, and at the same time it's the equivalent of a pit in your stomach but in your mind.
Mhm.
Right? Like, where you're just aware of this thing vaguely floating in front of you, like, and it pretty much follows what you are expecting, or sorry, the navigation route, a little bit off to the left but not far, like. And certainly the path you're traveling curves so much that often it's to the right and often it's straight ahead.
Mhm.
And so you're not really sure what where it's going to lead.
Okay. Well, I'm going to continue on the path to where we want to go first. But as soon as we're as close as it seems to me, this path is going to get to what I'm feeling, I do want to see if I can take a look.
Okay. So you guys get to you sort of crest a hill. You come to an area of, like, the rock throughout this area has been clearly smoothed over time by water, right? And so the flowing of water back and forth across it, so it's very smooth in that flowstone style. And you come to the first place where the rock is very, very jagged. Like, something else created the rock in front of you.
Okay.
But both your navigation, stool, everyone believes you have to cross this thing. But it's like, that if you've ever seen the difference of lava flows in Hawaii, right? Some smooth and some's very jagged. It's that equivalent.
Okay.
But it's distinct. Like, it's not, no mushrooms grow on it. Like, the mushrooms stop from the smooth area onto it.
And how near is this to where I feel pulled?
It's just across, like, it's not it's still in front of you. That's all. The
Okay.
best, but not immediately in front of you.
Well, I guess we'll try to cross this. Does it look like it's going to be tricky to cross?
No, it just looks different. Like, it's different for two reasons. One, it's not flowstone anymore, and two, like, there is no vegetation on it. I guess you can't call mushrooms vegetation, but you know what I mean.
Let's be cautious as we go across here.
Yes.
So as you start to go across it, you do feel heat starting to rise, and it's maybe 200 feet until you see it disappear into an opening. So you start to walk across, and you start to feel a rumbling in the ground beneath you.
I'm going to run.
Yeah, I guess we all start going.
Okay. You guys start running, and you hear like off to the left side of you, you hear like a huge like the sound like an explosion, and then the sound of gas being released as you see lava shoot up into the air and then sort of geyser down to the ground and fall around you. And so you are running. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw. And those of you who have any sort of like evasion or things like that are perfectly able to use it.
Quickly now, quickly.
Let's see what the DC. It's the low DC.
And we do have rerolls if anyone feels they need it.
I will probably be using.
I
a
do.
reroll.
I need one.
Oh.
I didn't see my roll.
Oh, I actually did pretty well. Wow.
There we go. I'm using a
From a
reroll.
nat 1 to a nat 20. Nice.
So the lava.
Am I the only?
Go ahead.
Am I the only one that used a reroll?
Looks like it.
Yes.
Okay.
So on the left side, the lava shoots up. As you're running on the right side, like maybe 10 feet off of you, you see another spurt of lava shoot up, and it starts to like you can feel some of the specks of this magma coming very, very close. Maybe even hits your pack or on the ground around you. And then as you're running in the direction towards this opening on the other side, you see right in front of you, the ground cracks open, and it doesn't shoot up; it just opens. And so the dexterity saving throw is just basically to stop yourself in time from falling in. You guys are able to, all of you, make it safely across. Oh, actually, I should roll for some other people.
Oh shoot, that's right. NPCs. Oh no.
I'm going to assume someone's carrying stool, so I'm not going to do that. And then I need to bring Darendel out here. Oops. I didn't need to do that, but
Darendel gets a reroll.
okay, you're giving Darendel a reroll?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Darendel is probably he is just slow because of everything that's happened to him so far. And so the one of the geysers goes off and just starts spraying very, very close to him, but he's actually able to evade it. But it was an incredibly close call. And eventually you make it across and into the continuation of the passage. And as you sort of get in there and turn around, you do see that this whole field is almost like living because you see it roil and occasionally gas shoots out of it and sputters down. And then you see the bright yellow turn to orange and then to dark red. And then it starts to cool and creating the shapes that you saw on the ground below. But the tunnel you're in now is more of this flow stone. So it just seems like that was some sort of lava seam in the middle of the passage.
Well, that was bracing.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're not going back that way.
I guess not.
To be fair, I don't think we have any plans to go back at all.
Oh, that's right. I can move further north. Good, excellent. No
Eldith,
problem then.
Eldith says, and if anyone was following us, I suppose it will make it more difficult for them to keep following us.
True.
Good.
All in all, good stuff.
So the day passes on. It's a tough slog. The vegetation, the mushroom vegetation, starts to grow back as you get away from this passage, and eventually, Jasa, you get to the point where you realize that this might be separating from your path.
Okay.
And so it is to your left, and the path is going to the right. And so basically, you have basically hit it perpendicular to you,
Okay.
like it is now.
Do I have any feeling as to how far it is?
So you sort of reach out telepathically to try to figure that out,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear the voice again.
Okay.
Hello, is someone there?
Can you hear me?
Hello, it's so cold in here, it's so dark. However, the voice is much stronger than it was,
Mm-hmm.
leading you like, you're closer, but you actually think you're pretty close.
I think we're very close to whatever the voice is, but I'm even more skeptical of it because it's saying the same things it said last night.
This is why. This is exactly why I wanted to leave this alone.
It sounds fairly like a trap.
It does. I agree.
Please, won't you help to free me, please?
On the off chance that it is something that needs help, I will feel very bad for doing this, but we continue on.
Mm.
So you hear occasionally as you keep walking, you hear occasionally the please, is anyone there? And it's not loopish, right? It's not, they're not saying the exact same thing,
Yeah.
but it's very similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And you've gotten to the point now where it's behind you, like it's off to your left side behind you, and you guys keep going on. I need you make camp. It's no problem at all. The rest of the day is uneventful. I need D20 from one of you, and also actually just because two of you. So Dolphix and Yusuf, or Dolphix and Zalm, if you can, one of you ask the other question since we have highlighted the other two.
Oh, that's what the D20 was for the question.
Thank you.
Zaum, would you like to ask Dolphix, or Dolphix can ask Zaum something?
Somebody ask Psalm something.
All right.
I don't have a question.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I guess Dolphix comes over to Zaum and just says, so, Zaum, I understand that you are a follower of Bane. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, don't take this the wrong way or anything, but how do you justify following such an, well, for lack of a better term, evil?
A great God.
Great, sure, but certainly also, I would say, well, evil.
Well, first of all, good and evil are just social constructs meant to keep us in line. The only thing that is truly real is life and death. And only the greatest will survive.
Interesting. I don't argue with any of what you said, but I also don't see anything wrong with order and society and social constructs. These are the things that are allow us to communicate, to interact with each other. Would you not agree? Otherwise, we would be lawless barbarians, constantly fighting each other for food and scraps.
Of course, there's order in our system. just an order that the weak won't survive.
Hmm. Well, I do not like this order that you are pertaining to.
Well, be glad you're not a Beta Knight. You wouldn't survive.
Well, Zaum, tell me, and I don't know if Zaum is noticing this or not, but Dolphix is like his fingers are slowly kind of like fiddling with his daggers right now. And he says, in your well, slave trading days, did you recently happen to come across a young girl?
Did I
Human.
DM?
Human girl, young. With,
I'm going to leave that up for the two of you.
Who? Okay, let's see.
I don't know again, but it's two backgrounds.
Okay. We're gonna say odds. I did, evens I didn't, and I shall roll on a d4. I just say, what's it to you?
well, you may have had your reasons for dealing with the Underdark, but mine are, well, I'm looking for her. She was taken from her family, and I would like to return her back.
Describe her.
Young human girl, roughly of say 10 seasons. Quite smart, really. She was quite the learner. Is quite the learner. Picked up quite a lot. But she has brown curly hair, slight scar just underneath her left jaw. Certainly, that is enough for you to recognize.
At the mention of the slight scar, I do look at you. I say, rings a bell ish.
And you see Dolphix is now like openly playing with his dagger now. And what, if you would be willing to let me know, happened to her?
Probably got sold off to some rich family, if I know it. But it wasn't my people, if that's what you're asking. I don't usually deal with selling children.
That's right. You only sell the adults, the grown ones.
Yes. There's no honor, I would say, in capturing such a weak prey, such adversaries.
Well, okay. What do you know if she would have been sold above ground in the Underdark, in the Drow slave markets, or?
Honestly, when I saw her, it was but for a moment. She's being sold off to, I don't really know who, nor did I care at the time.
Nor do I suspect you care at all now. Very well. Well, it's just more than I have to go off of before.
It was through, if I can impose this, it was a little bit outside of Baldur's Gate that I did see her, if that helps.
It does. Well, I'm glad it is above ground and not here in the Underdark, at least. And Dolphix just kind of wanders back off.
Right. Thanks. That was fantastic. The The night goes pretty quietly. The one thing though I would point out, the one significant thing that I would point out is Vic. You wake up to music again.
I'm gonna listen, and Vic's suspicion almost instantly is like hearing Jasa talk about that voice is like I'm trying to figure out, is it coming from the same direction that Jasa had said that she heard that voice behind us?
No, it this for you seems more disembodied. It seems like you're listening to someplace else somehow. Like listening into, like not that they're broadcasting to you, but like you're a fly on a wall somewhere.
And this is in the morning or on my watch?
This is while you're sleeping.
While I'm
So
sleeping.
like
Okay.
you wake up to this.
I'd probably go and try to find whoever's on watch at the time to let them know that
You were
something's
on,
happening.
You were on third watch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say it happens on first. So who was on first watch? It was Zelm and
I'm on the second one.
It was Sarth and Dolphix, his
Okay.
first watch.
So yeah. So you see Vic sort of sit up in his bed.
I don't suppose Dolphix. I don't suppose you hear that music.
Nope.
And right as you say that, you hear the voice of your siblings, sort of announcing, being like, "Oh, we're so happy to be back here."
I hear my brother and my sister speaking. I-
Well,
They
We all
can't
know.
be.
yes, it's best to ignore this. We all know the Underdark is playing tricks on all our minds.
Speak for yourselves.
And they start into a set, and it's a very familiar set to you. Something you would start as either start or your second song, something to make the crowd sort of energetic and wild. And you can like it is really like you are there in the sense of you hear the crowd react, you hear the counter reaction from the band as they get excited, the crowd reacting. Your heart sort of races a little bit, just remembering the rush of that performance.
I don't understand why I keep hearing this. It certainly fills my heart with a longing of for home. Dolphix, you've experienced some of these types of things yourself, no? What meaning do you derive from what the Underdark is calling out to you for?
Well, nothing quite so personal as what you describe. No, I have had certainly visions while I've been sleeping, but they were well, it's hard to describe. Not so personal, that's for sure. This seems a little different, what you are experiencing. Wait, do you see a small little spider with one white gloved leg?
No, I wish I did. That sounds like it'd be a lot more fun than this. It's sort of taunting. Yeah, I keep going over it over and over in my head. The last thing I remember before coming down here, I was with my brother and sister. We're out there, we're out in Waterdeep having dinner. I know I tend to overindulge when I get in situations like that, but this is different. I've never experienced. That's the last thing I remember is being at that dinner table with them, celebrating the fact that we were all going to be back together. I'd found work out there with them. We were going to be working on the same entertaining theater troupe.
So Vic, as like if you delved into this a little bit more, this would be one of the fundamental differences. You hear this as it's going on, like as you're having this conversation. This is in the back of your head, like it's like you're listening to a mix or like a music in the background. So even talking to Dolphix doesn't go away. Like you just the show is continuing in your head.
And Dolphix, you probably, as Vic is talking, like he's pacing all around the cavern. You know, he's very, very agitated. Like, you know, kind of almost like maybe maybe you figured out like what happened, but like Vic is actively, and maybe Vic has figured out like what ultimately happened to him, but like he's just fighting it, like he's fighting having that actual realization because it would hurt so bad.
Yes, I'm sure your brothers and sisters were quite happy to hear that you would be joining them.
So as the sort of a song ends, and you hear Ren say, "You guys are great. We love coming here all the time. In case you don't know who we are, this is my sister Dara, and this is my other sister, Victoria." And the crowd cheers, and they start into a new song.
You're still hearing it, aren't you?
I am. It's maddening. I've experienced this before. They never acknowledge me, or at least not quite me. Almost like an intentional slight, or I don't know.
You catch in the music you hear, you actually start to hear, maybe I don't know the full, but an instrument that you don't normally play and your siblings don't normally play. Let's say the panpipes. And you hear them playing through the sound and harmonizing with the rest of the instruments on stage, and the crowd's cheering to the sound of these panpipes as panpipe solo.
Vic would probably go over to where his stuff is lying and go and dig out his loot and just start like playing some music, really for the purpose of trying to get that out of his head, fill some other noise.
Would you find yourself harmonizing with the music that you hear, or counter?
Like clashing with it, like totally, like
just like bigger. And eventually, I'd say, like after a good like 5-10 minutes of that, and you're probably like, I'm not going to speak for you, but you probably do it with some sort of fervor that almost threatens to wake people up, like because you're maybe trying to drown out the sound that you hear in your head.
Yeah, it's like the kind of thing where, you know, I'm hearing this music so loud that I don't really realize probably how loud I'm playing because, you know, that's amplified.
You're trying to at least match the volume that you hear. And after maybe 3-4 minutes of that, it subsides in your head.
And at that point, Vic would just look over to Dolphix. He'd kind of stop playing and say, "Thanks for letting me stay up with you for a little bit here. I don't hear it anymore. It's past. I'm gonna go try and get whatever shut eye I can, but I appreciate it."
It was my pleasure. And Vic, you play beautifully.
Thank you.
All right.
And he'll walk back to where his stuff is and try to calm himself down and get back to sleep.
All right. So the next day arrives, unless there's something you guys want to do specific before that. But let's make a navigation check and a random encounter check.
Nope.
So I need someone, or I need Jason to do the navigation, and someone to roll me a d20.
It might be my turn on the D20 too.
Yeah, I think it is.
Good, go for it. All right. So the big thing you notice about today is you start to notice something Stool described, and that is the mushrooms are getting bigger. Like everything around you seems more, in a mushroom sense, lush. And in a lot of ways, it's actually becoming more and more difficult to navigate. Like this is a place that humanoids don't go. And you're not really on a path anymore as much as you're just sort of trying to weave and squeeze between. Some of these Zerkwoods go 20, 30 feet up in the air. And so it's actually quite impressive. And you're pretty sure that few surfacers ever see sort of even this side of the Underdark. You're beginning to appreciate the beauty and the everything about it. It's about midday when, as you're plodding through, when those of you who are around Stool notice Stool just stop. And people pass him on, and I think Eldeth's the first, like, Stool, come on. And Stool's just sort of a little bit frozen there in the middle of the passage.
You okay still?
And you see, I think you see the spores shoot up, right? The spore chat spores shoot up and they envelop you. And he's like, I think I feel it. Like really feel it.
Where's everyone?
Sorry.
I said where. I was asking him, where's everyone then?
I think I know how to get home. I don't know how I know to get home, but like it's there.
This is good news. Well then, little one, lead on.
And he sort of starts to scramble, and he's shorter, so he walks slowly. But you do see him, and Jason, I think you would. I don't think you question where he's going. I think he's just choosing, like, he's not experienced or old enough to recognize that what he can maneuver through as a very small being, you guys cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And so he is sort of, I wouldn't say he's maybe scrambling a little bit. He's not running or anything. Like, he's aware you guys are behind him and he wants to bring you all there. But he does seem to be making sort of not the best choices at times. But he does seem very excited. And so, like, you just hear him start to rattle off, like, oh, I can't wait to introduce you to, like, et cetera, et cetera. But he is confident that he knows where he's going. Are you guys changing anything about what you guys are doing?
I'm like, hey, slow down there, bud.
Yeah, like, it's not even slow down. Like, he's so short, like you stealthily walking is about his speed. Like, it's not hard at all to catch up to him. The only thing is that he can squeeze through things that are difficult for you to, like, you have to find a way around.
Fair.
I'd say as long as we can keep up, we'll just follow.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to avoid stepping on any mushrooms because they might be sentient.
So he leads you through, and you guys get to what like should be a place to sleep for the night, in the sense of you have walked a pretty far distance, and Stool's pretty excited about keeping going on. But it's not probably like you risk exhaustion, like just knowing. What would you like?
Oh, nothing. Sorry. No,
Nope,
nothing.
Um, Stool, how much further do you think it is? I don't know that we can keep going.
I mean, I maybe a day or two.
A day?
We need to camp. though.
Oh, yes, in that fact. Yeah, in that case.
We
I
can't.
know where it is. I know where it is now.
You'll still know tomorrow. We need to sleep, or we won't make it.
And Eldith goes over to him and sort of pats him on the back, and you can see him sort of, you can feel him sort of mentally slump as he just sort of sits down against a big Zerkwood, and you see him staring in the direction that you guys were going. I need someone to roll d20. Super play.
Okay, I'll roll a d20.
What?
Oh,
I did the one earlier.
Yeah, that's from the threes from earlier.
a 15.
Can you roll another d20 for me?
Okay. A 2.
Thanks. Boy. So let's see. The night goes pretty quietly again, and once again, like it's eerie because you are now like you're in a place you're surrounded by mushrooms that dwarf you, right? And so you have that same sort of experience that you do if you ever walked into the woods at night, and the sound of pine trees like muffle sound. So it things aren't echoing off walls anymore. They're being absorbed by these mushrooms, and so it on one hand has a little bit of an unsettling feeling, but on the other hand, it feels very safe. Like it feels very like it would be difficult even if you were 10 feet away to walk by and look in and see the group of you. And so it just, I don't know, it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
The first shift goes, and Dolphix, will you make me a perception check? So Dolphix, it is quiet. Like it's quiet, and you feel quite safe. The only thing I would say that you do notice, Sareth is very agitated. Like he just is fidgety in a way that you like. Maybe sometimes he's fidgety, but he just doesn't seem to be able to sit still.
Sareth, you're doing okay.
I don't know. Like this place is just. I just want to get out of here as soon as possible.
Out of the grove or the Underdark?
Out of the grove. I just don't. I just don't feel comfortable here. The faster we get to the grove, the better.
I would agree, but if my experience is anything like the others, we are feeling a more sense of calm around here.
Maybe because you're from the surface. I don't know. This is torture for me. You do see him reaching up to his head.
Hey there now. There's no need for that. Is there perhaps, I don't know, what do you normally do to keep yourself calm?
Normally I would just leave. I don't like.
Music,
I'll be fine.
poetry, music, poetry. What kind of art do you do, Sarah?
I'll be fine. I just need to work off this excess energy. Like really, And you see him, he gets up and he does maybe pace a little bit, and just sort of like try to shake energy out of himself. And but you could see he just can't sit still. He's pretty quiet though.
Okay. Well, Seth, here. Why don't I try something? I don't know if this will help, but it may be of some benefit to you. Come over here.
Mhm.
And he takes out his spell. Dolphix takes out his spell book and flips to a few pages, starts reading it over, and he takes out some powdered silver and iron, and kind of rubs it on Sarah's hand, and then also like on his wound, his bulbulous mass on his head. And he's gonna cast protection from evil and good.
Okay.
I don't know if that's gonna do anything, but
So I think when you rub the components on him, he flinches, like he's not, but he's not resisting the spell. He's just like, what the hell are you doing?
yep.
So he takes it, and you see, I mean, he reaches up to his head, and just to make sure that I'm describing this right, it's not bulbous. It's just he's like rubbed that there's no water there.
Yeah.
Like that's sorry. And previously, although it's not this bad, previously he was scratching, so it was actually like bloody and
Yeah. That's right. I was imagining
no just,
heads coming out of heads.
no, that's,
Oh God.
and so he thanks you, like he's not rude or anything. And that is one thing, I think, particularly as we get to the fourth shift, I'll mention again, but you do realize he's nicer. Like he is not his arrogant self that he was when he was in the prison. And you feel like he's made a little bit of an arc in terms of being better in the party. And this is like when he thanks you, it's one of those things that you recognize that maybe he's growing for the better.
Oh, you're welcome. Go get some rest.
So are you going to do the rest of the shift alone, or are you just saying that at the end of your shift?
At the end of the shift, yeah.
Okay. So the rest of the shift ends. He heads off, and as the both of you sort of settle down, and I think for whoever takes shifts after him, you can tell he might fall asleep for bits, but it's just spurts, like he doesn't. Jason, you and Eldith at the end of the night. I think Eldith brings up a very similar topic to what me as DM said, and what Dolphix. And she says, I like talking to you because you just see things as they are. How do you think I've changed?
A bit. I think you have learned that it's not weakness to rely on others, particularly in a situation like this where we all have to rely on each other. I think when we first met, you would have scoffed at relying on some of us.
I think I would
And
have.
we may have scoffed at relying on each other.
I think I would have gone off on my own in the Underdark if I got the opportunity, and what ridiculousness that would have been.
I may have done the same, and it would have been stupid, and I'd be dead now.
Do you think the others are different, but maybe in a bad way?
Which others?
I'm not sure. I like, I've been to battle, and I know how a battle changes someone who's young and inexperienced, and then is battle worn. And so I know what that change looks like.
I know. I remember the first time gladiators went into the pit. They came out different. Not the same as battle, but not different.
But it seemed like maybe, I don't know. I get the feeling that like some people are different, but not in that same way. Like they've. I don't know what I'm trying to say, and she clearly struggling for what she's thinking about. But she finally says, do you think some of the bad things, like some of the things that people might do, like Sarah scratching his head, do you think that will ever fix after this? Or is the trauma too great?
I think that we as sentient beings have a remarkable knack for healing if the situation presents itself and we're permitted to heal. I am very hopeful that those things can heal, but we need to get out of the trauma first. I think as long as we're down here, even for Sereth, who grew up in the Underdark, he's not in his home anymore.
I don't think he has a home anymore.
He needs to get somewhere safe and comfortable where he can heal. We all do.
Well, I guess you're right. I don't know. It's maybe, I don't know. And she's not really torn about, like, this is probably more of a continuation of philosophical talks you guys have had on Watch for a long time.
Mhm.
So it doesn't strike you as anything different. Probably what strikes you more is that it's probably the closest you've ever seen of criticism she has for others in the party, where she said, like, she clearly alluded to the fact that she thought some people were changing for the worse.
Mhm.
But she did. That's all she said. Like, she didn't go farther into it. Maybe Sarah, but it's not clear to you what she was referring to.
It's a difficult time, and it's difficult to know what is the right decision. With that voice I heard, for example, I felt the draw to help if I could, but I think this place lies. I think I may have gone to help, and it would have been something drawing me in that was there to was specifically preying on those like me who would want to help.
I don't blame you. I mean, this is. I'm not sure. The altruistic sort live very long down here.
Well, it will continue to weigh on me, knowing that I might have made the wrong decision and someone might be suffering.
Hmm.
But I might survive.
Well, there is that. I would love to see home.
I'd like to find one.
And she's, I think, once you distract her mind to home, she's a little bit more taciturn and she's quiet. The rest of the night, though, goes without significant effort or complication. Let me just look one thing up since I have lost my page. So the next day starts, and One second. One second. So, Stool wakes up, and you guys are very, very like he is like electrified. Like you have not seen. Like he's so like, we gotta like, come on, and like he's like tugging on all of you, like as you're preparing breakfast and stuff. Be like, I think we're almost there. I think we're almost there. And he starts dragging you along as you start the day, and now you are definitely seeing some of the things he described. You're walking through tall caverns where mushrooms are growing up to the ceiling and things like that. And you see more exotic colors coming off the mushrooms, almost as if they're much healthier than they normally are.
I'd like to go ahead and make another survival check to try to keep my bearings.
Okay.
Now that Stool is leading fully, I want to make sure I still know
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
where I am in relation to things.
All right. So you are pretty. You might not have bearings to things you haven't been to, but you have a strong feeling you could get back to the lava flow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You are pretty confident that you would be able to do that. So the next few hours are basically Stool just full on as fast as Stool can go. And one of the big also differences is you've been on this flowstone. And so occasionally when you step on a mushroom, like that's soft and spongy, but you notice the distinct, as you move closer in the direction Stool is going, the actual floor has almost like soil as you move into it. And the more you look around, the more it actually looks like you are in a surface world forest, but instead of trees, there's these giant mushrooms. It is that dense and packed. And as Stool is going, he is just more and more excited about this. You see him get to the top of a rise, and the passage is sort of blocked by these two zircons. He's maybe 15 feet in front of you, because he's rushing ahead as much as he can. And he turns around and he's like, "We're here." And he's looking all back down at you. Are you running up?
Yeah.
I'll go up there.
So as you run up, suddenly the two tall mushrooms to either side of him turn and look at you with very animated faces. And that is where we will stop for tonight, as you are now on the very edge of Stool's hole. Thanks, guys, for watching. We're 20 Sides to Every Story. If you haven't gotten a chance, make sure you join our Discord. If you can spare some money or your Amazon Prime account, please subscribe to the channel. And then if you really like what we do, the Patreon's there. We have coming up, is there a community campaign tomorrow?
There
Yes.
Okay. So we have the Lost City, the community campaign, which you can get access to, maybe not tomorrow night, but in general through Patreon or Twitch subscriber. On Saturday, we have Kingmaker. On Sunday, we have Eldritch Sounds. And then our whole schedule.
I think it's Saltmarsh this week.
Oh, it is Saltmarsh. I know, because it's Saltmarsh on Sunday night. And then our whole schedule repeats every week. Most nights you can find us here around 8 p.m. Central Time, doing some sort of D&D pretty much all the time. It's a great group of people, so I encourage you to tune in. We will be back next Thursday as these guys get to finally see where Stool grew up. With that, I'm going to say goodnight, and thank you guys for playing with me, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, Kodo.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.